kick off and start a whole new trend. I think the environment in which you're located and that Jackson State located, there are lots of similarities, from the housing stock to brownfields and other things, that could benefit from the expertise that you have in your lab there at UVM, and that we're lacking on this side. On the other end, we have a lot of engineers here in the civil field and environmental engineering, as well as environmental health, but also a public health school. They only accredited one in an HBC in the country. So there are lots of good possible synergistic things that we could do together. And this is just one phase. We figure if we start with the students, then we'll drag the faculty along to get this to work really well. I think Nico has been, we've been talking when I got up to UVM. And so we think that we have some plans to hopefully get NSF as well as other people to probably pay for us to do some work together. So we're looking forward to it. And as students, I think the students will probably be the driver for all of this. We started with some undergrads and all of that, but once we get the graduate students involved, I think it's natural that the faculty will be fully engaged. There are more than enough problems for us to work on, so I'm looking forward to it.
Great, thanks, Joe. So I just want to tell all the students involved here, probably should have started with this. This is a really interesting class, and unlike anything that I think Nico and I have ever taught before, we have students from UVM, we have students from Jackson State, we have high school students, and we have a high school teacher with us. So it's a really diverse group of people. I wish we could meet in person, but the beauty of not meeting in person is we have a much wider group of people here in this class, and a wider group of geographic locations represented. So I think that's going to be really good. But I do say that once this COVID crisis is over, I really hope some of us can meet in person. We're hoping to get down to Jackson and to have some of the Jackson students come back up to UVM. So Nico, you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yes, everybody can hear me, I hope. So myself, I mean, I've made that video a little bit about myself, so I don't want to repeat too much. What I will say though is that in addition to being a class that we built to include as many diverse backgrounds as possible, this is also a class that is directly linked with a current research project that is funded by the Environmental Protection Agency. So what you are gonna do in this class is as a direct application, a direct meaning, in the sense that it helps us move along to some research projects that are research and education projects that are designed specifically around citizen science and student involvement in science. And this is one of the reasons why we have high school students and high school teachers, is that this project involves high schools in the area of Burlington and the city of Winooski, that is the nearby city. So it involves the high schools and the middle schools in these areas to we go to the high schools, we actually are gonna teach about lead, less in depth than what we do this week, and then have thousands of samples come back. A little bit what you're gonna do at a smaller scale to both educate and also provide information for stakeholders to decide what are the areas in need of remediation regarding lead, what are the areas in danger, what are the controls on lead, can we predict where lead problems are happening the most, and why. So this is actually one of the foundation of that class. So EPA is an actor in there. This means as well that we have to follow some protocols that are EPA guided. But this is the best protocols to do correct work in environmental analysis there. So a little bit about me, very briefly. You can hear exactly from my accent that I spent quite some time in Arizona, but no, I'm actually French. And I moved to the US 12 12 to 14 years ago. 2008, 12 years ago. And I'm an environmental mineralogist and geologist. So my interest is really to look at contaminations in the environment, and in particular, heavy metals, lead being at the forefront, but also arsenic and radioactive material. The key being, how do we analyze them? How do they move in the environment? How do they transform? And what can we do to remediate contaminated places? I also have a side interest. I work a lot with Paul on some other aspects, such as Greenland ice sheet, retreat and melting in the past. But I also develop right now a program in space science at UVM. We're particularly interested in the potential for life on other planets. The one that we really work on is Mars. In the absence of sample, it's a little bit difficult, but we find ways to experiment and try to potentially grow bacteria in these environments. And in fact, last semester, I taught a class that was pretty amazing called Extraterrestrial Life, that drew some of that research in focus. And it was involving as well philosophy professor, a science fiction critic, and a physics, astrophysics professor. So we had a great fun imagining what life would look like on other planets. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I could, like every professor in the world, probably talk hours about myself, but that's not the goal of our class there.
Okay, thanks, Nico.
Yeah.
So I did something fun today that I'll throw up for you guys all to see, because I realized for the Jackson State students, I'm guessing few, if any of you, have been to Burlington. And for our Burlington students, few, if any of you, have been to Burlington in the last couple months, because we shut down in March and everybody went home. So I got this new GoPro right here. I had like a 10-year-old GoPro 2 or something. They're up to GoPro 8. And I got it because I'm teaching a couple classes this summer, and I took a walk around Burlington today. So I wanted to let you see what got Nico and I excited about this, what our city's like, so you can have some idea. I'll do this again up to the university, and we'll show you what our geology department looks like. But I'm gonna switch over now, share my screen, and I threw all this together in just do a couple-minute video, which I'm gonna talk over and narrate a little bit as we go. But I think it'll set some context for what we're doing. And hold on, let me see if I can get the right thing here. Share. Can you guys see what looks like a video screen right now? Okay. All right, let's see. That's too much music. All right, so I'm having fun with my selfie stick. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? So I went and dropped the car off to get fixed this morning, and I just thought I'd walk around the area of Burlington. It's about a mile and a half from my house, and show you the kind of houses we have here. A lot of them are painted. Some of them are sided. They tend to have a fair bit of lead paint on them, as you can see. And this is a sort of average Burlington neighborhood down by the water. I'm coming in close here to some alligatoring paint, pretty much surely lead. And then I came across this house here, which is being painted. And these guys are sort of using lead safe approaches. They got their tarps down. But if you could look closer, you see they all have their masks down and they're busy scraping lead paint. It's probably not the healthiest thing they could be doing there. Oh yeah, somebody had their feet sticking out of a car. I don't know. It's a beautiful day here, 70 and sunny. Oh, I want to get some glasses. This is one of the older neighborhoods of Burlington, stone buildings. And I had to pick up my glasses, but I had to put on my mask before I did that. And we have a big lake here. So I wandered down to the lake again because it was such a beautiful day. For those of you who spent time in Burlington, on a summer day, you would never see a parking spot down there. Things are really strange here. We're still pretty much shut down. This is our great science museum. Bikes in their rack, waterfront empty. But we can swim right down here by the harbor if we want. And then I started walking back up the hill after this. It's about a 300-foot elevation gain up to campus, but I thought about stopping and getting a maple creamy. That's what we're famous for here in Vermont, but decided now it was too early in the morning to have ice cream. And then I walked up Church Street, which I think Joe remembers is our main shopping district here. There's not much shopping going on, folks. Pretty deserted down here on Church Street. For those of UVM students, this is not what it looks like in the summer. But this is our market. It's where we buy our food right here in the city. We were a food desert for a lot of years, and then this great cooperative market moved in. And so now we have good food and plants and all those sorts of things. And this was probably an hour walk. I took the long way home. And most people here are wearing masks, well behaved. And then there's all these piles of plants. I hadn't seen these lately, but people who've put out plants so that others can grow their own food, which I thought was really great. Joe and I had to talk about doing this in Jamaica. But these are Food Not Bombs plants right here, free plants for folks. And this is the street on which I live. And so I'm walking up the street. 100-year-old houses, 120-year-old houses. Every one of these has lead paint on it. And a lot of them are student rentals. About half our street is rentals. Other half is families. A lot of professors live on the street. This is our state senator right here. This is his house, the White House, getting some work done on it. So when I want to talk to our state government, I walk down the street and talk to Chris. And this is our house we've had for 26 years now, 120 years old, covered in lead. And that's an apple tree that I told Joe about that we just planted, and some blackberry bushes. And anyway, we've taken a lot of lead safe precautions on our house, and I'll show you some of these. But we've been growing a little bit of food on our porch in clean soil. So we got tomatoes and we got some lettuce and some spinach. But one of the things we did about 10 years ago is we dug up the soil right around our house and we had it replaced with gravel, because we found that we had 3,000 to 5,000 parts per million lead in our soil right next to the house. And we should be able to zoom in here and I'll show you the gravel. You see that gravel apron around our house? I sure wish we'd put that in when our kids were toddlers and digging in the dirt, but we didn't know at that point. So that's our way of being lead safe here, is to make sure that the drip zone of the house, the area just below where the paint falls off, is now got gravel in it. And that's where the lead lands. Okay. So that's just a little bit about, where I live, what our city looks like. I think at this point, it would be great to simply go through the people who are on here, and for each of you to say whatever you want. What do you find interesting in life? Where are you at school? What year are you? Just a little bit about you so we get some idea of who you are. So we could do this in random order, or I could simply go down the order in which people joined. If you want to do that, if you guys want to volunteer, that's totally fine too. What do you think?
It's a great idea. It's going to be hard to get started, I think, but we can start within the order we have in the participant list.
Okay, you want to pick someone, Nico?
Well, what about we start in the order? And I think Dave is the first one. So Dave, do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe say where you live and whatever else you want to say.
Sure. Yeah, my name is David McNally. I just turned 50 on Saturday, so I'm pretty much an old dude. I'm from New Orleans originally, so I'm a Southerner that got transplanted to the North. And I'm a science teacher in Winooski, so I teach in a high school that is in a town that's 1 mile by 1 mile by 1 mile. It's a pretty small footprint, and I just learned this past week that it is the most densely populated town in New England, according to some statistic. We have a lot of new American students, a lot of people from all over the world: Nepalese, Somali, Vietnamese, Sudanese, Bhutanese, Thai, and we also are having a little outbreak of COVID-19 within our town. So Winooski is a pretty interesting place. It's always been an immigrant community, a working class community. So there's a lot of poverty, as well as, you could argue, social injustice. So it's a challenging but satisfying place to teach. And we had some of you guys, Nico, came into our class last year and began some of this work on lead, but then the COVID shut us down. So we're hoping to continue that.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Thanks, Dave. Sebastian is the next one on my list.
I'm a senior, but I'm finishing this summer. So I have 3 more classes. I'm a global regional studies and econ major. And trying to think what else. Not a whole lot has been going on recently.
Where do you live?
I'm from New York, but I've been staying in Vermont this whole time. I have not gone back I'm from New York City, so I haven't really been planning any trips back there, obviously. So just staying in Vermont. Have been doing classes online now for a couple months. It's getting a little bit better. And I guess I'm getting a little excited to finish school and excited to do something kind of hands-on at this point as well with this class. Besides doing an online platform for class. So I think, yeah, it's not a whole lot I can say the past couple months. I'm excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. We have Dayton.
Yeah, I'm Dayton. I'm also a senior at UVM, but next semester is going to be my last semester. I'm originally from Los Angeles, so I've also been just kind of staying around Vermont, not going back home. And yeah, I don't know. I'm an English major. I'm super excited to take a geology class. It's kind of the first class we've ever done like this. And yeah, that's about it.
Great. Thank you. Next is Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I go to VM. I'm a junior. Wow. I'm a junior now. I live in Portland, Maine. I work as a sea kayaking guide right now, which is really fun. I'm a geology major, which is awesome. I love being a geology major. And I'm really excited to take more geology classes and see what opportunities I have for this year, just to see what happens.
Great. Thank you. Ethan? Ethan?
Ethan is muted.
Oh, yeah. But
See if I can unmute Ethan.
I cannot.
I got it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a junior at Burlington High School. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you are right. Then we have Grace.
Grace is also muted. I can unmute Grace.
People cannot unmute themselves.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I just got a lot of background noise here. I'm sitting near a window. I'm on the street side. So anyway, I'm from Boston. I'm going to be a senior at UVM, studying microbiology. And I'm really just excited to see where this goes. I was taking a class on health disparities in the US last year, and we talked a bit about environmental contamination, and it'd be really interesting to see how it's tested and how it's treated and prevented. Just be really nice to get to know everyone and have something to do this summer, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So are you in Boston right now?
Yes, I did manage to make it home.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have Greg. Greg's iPhone.
Still muted.
No.
Greg,
We'll
can you unmute?
move to
right, want to skip past Gray? We'll come back to him.
Yeah, so Jane? Is Jane there?
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm a sophomore at UVM, and I'm an anthropology major. I live in Rhode Island, and I'm really excited to learn about lead.
Okay, cool. Are you in Rhode Island right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who's next? Thank you. We also have on the call Josh. I don't know if we do introduction. Josh is not a student in the class.
Hey, everybody.
Himself.
Hi.
I'm an interloper on your class, so I hope you'll treat me nicely. I work in the communications office at UVM. I'm a science writer and photographer for UVM, and have worked with Paul on a bunch of stories over the years. And he told me about this really interesting class, and I had an opportunity to talk with Joe last year when he visited campus. And so if you're all willing, I'd like to be able to drop in on the class from time to time and consider developing a story about what you guys are doing, because I think there are a lot of interesting aspects to this, both in terms of the online piece, the cross-pollination between UVM and Jackson, and just the topic, how it affects people all over the world, of course, and how you're learning about it. So that's what I'm doing. So if you see me dropping in and out, say hello, and I'll be interested to learn more, but I won't be actually taking the class. I'll just be visiting a bit.
And I'll just add, don't be surprised if you get a contact from Josh. We wanted you to know who he was. He might be interested in talking to any and all of you over the course of the next couple of weeks. And we might just get him back to help a little bit with how one does presentations when we get toward the end of the class. He's an awesome instructor. He's taught me a lot of what I know about how to communicate science.
I'll look forward to continuing the conversation.
And he's got a really nice hat.
Yeah, this is a polar bear here. You might think this is like from Greenland or from Bowdoin College or something, but it's actually a Cuban minor league baseball team that I really like.
Cool. All right, thank you, Josh. Next we have Kyla.
Hi, my name is Kayla Gordon. I don't know why Hazel popped up. That's my middle name. But I'm a graduating senior, about to be a graduating senior at Jackson State University. I'm actually from Atlanta, Georgia, Stone Mountain area, eastward of Atlanta. My major is civil engineering. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
That's great. So are you in Stone Mountain right now?
Yeah, I'm in Stone Mountain right now.
This is a perfect example of a granite batholith, if I am correct.
Yeah, I think Paul, was it Paul who you emailed me back, said you did, was it surveying or you did work on actual Stone Mountain? And I walk up there every single day as my exercise routine. Me and my mom walk up and down the mountain every single day.
That's quite the exercise routine, if I remember. That's a steep climb.
It is.
I haven't been there since 1990. I did a bit of my PhD on the rocks, the granite rocks there.
Mm-hmm.
But my most striking memory was not the rocks. It was at night. I was just finished a day, like a 12-hour day of work, and I'm walking away, and they started this laser light show on the side with Elvis playing. I'm like, what is this? And there are all these Confederate generals carved into the side of the mountain. I'm like,
yeah, crazy, right? But they do have the laser show well, they haven't had it in a while because of COVID, but me and my family used to go all the time when they had it.
Yeah, no, it stuck in my mind. It was a beautiful place.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. Nora.
Hi, I'm Nora. I live in Burlington. I'm going into my senior year at UVM as a wildlife bio major. I'm really excited for this class because I just want to improve my skills on data collection and analysis, as well as scientific communication.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. And I think we have Valerie next.
Hello, I'm Valerie.
Okay, Valerie, I can't.
Hello.
Lost Valerie.
This is not working.
This is beautiful music, but I'm not sure we can.
Oh, I made civil engineer with
Okay, Valerie, I don't think we can hear you well. At least I can't.
Text her, let her know we can't. Her phone keeps going in and out. She goes to Jackson State too. We're all in class
Okay.
together.
Oh, too bad. Okay, well, we hopefully a chance to.
What's going on?
Can you talk, Valerie? No?
Hello?
Yeah, we can't hear you very well. If not, that's actually. So, do you mind just unmuting your camera so that we see you, and then say with your hand, if you can.
Yeah, I actually closed the camera down with the hope we could hear her.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg's back.
All right. So we'll move on to Greg. Is Greg active now?
Oh, hello? Hello?
Is this Valerie?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
I'm unmuted.
Yes,
No,
we
no,
can
you're
hear you.
good.
Nope. Oh, now we see you.
Not me. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can see you. We could not hear you. It seems that the bandwidth is low. That's what it says there. Nice to meet you.
Hello?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Sometimes. Okay.
See if we can try Greg. He's back.
Yeah, we'll try Greg.
But he's muted. Greg, are you there?
Hello?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello?
Hey, Greg. Yes, we can hear you.
How are you doing?
Okay. Can you?
How are you doing?
Oh God, is it still broken? I'm Valerie. Okay.
This is amazing.
I'm at work right now. I don't have like the best service.
Okay, yeah.
So we're getting bits of Greg and bits of Valerie.
It seems that you guys actually can chat together, but we don't necessarily can hear you.
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing, Elise?
So Greg, we can see you just fine.
Yes. Yes, sir. I just made it back in the break room. I was at work right now.
Okay.
What work do you do?
I work at the Tire Lube Express at Walmart in Madison.
Okay. Cool.
How are y'all doing today?
We're good.
It's excited to start the class and to get to meet you all. Hopefully,
likewise.
To get the most out of it, despite all the conditions. Yeah, so I think we went around the room. We got a glimpse of everybody and then a few words from everybody. Hopefully we'll be able to know more of you when we go through the website.
So Greg, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your background and your interests?
My name is Gregory Jones. I plan on doing the transportation side of civil engineering. I've had a little experience for Michael Baker International as a survey tech, and then I moved up into a inspector on Highway 49. It was just a ECI project through the state of Mississippi, MDOT. That's all. And I like having fun. Sometimes I get off track.
That's okay. Having fun is good these days. You do not have enough of it.
Yeah.
Great. What year are you?
Sir?
What year are you in school?
This is my senior year.
Senior year. Great. Awesome. And how many hours a week do you work there at the Walmart?
It varies. The most we are allowed to get is 40, and the minimum is around 30, 31.
Are you guys busy? And I assume you're an essential business, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir. The department I was over a few weeks ago was online grocery pickup, and it was booming considering COVID.
Yeah.
But now I'm in just the Tide Loop Express, so it's super slow there because we are shut down. We don't do any service right now.
Yep. Yeah. Should we try to give Valerie one more try? She's back. Just letting her in. Okay, Valerie, can you hear us? Valerie, can you hear us? All right.
Okay.
Ah, now we see you.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you just fine. Can you tell us quickly something about yourself before we lose that signal again?
I'm Valerie Gladney. I'm from Mississippi. I go to Jackson State University. I'm a civil engineer major with a concentration in environmental, and I'm currently in Michigan right now.
Michigan. Okay, that's far away from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, I think that gets almost everybody. There are a couple of folks that couldn't join us today. So I think we just want to do a quick go through on the syllabus while we have all you here and a little review of what's happening the next day or two. I think the first thing I want to say is this is the first time we've taught this course. And today is a perfect vision of how things are going to go wrong. We're online. It's a new course. Every time I teach a new course, I apologize in advance to all my students for the things we're going to mess up, because we will. It's not an if, it's a we will. And to be patient with us, to communicate with us, send us emails, call us, tell us what's going on so we can help you out. Because there's always bumps in the road, especially digitally and especially first time. So almost all the work you're going to do for this class is going to be toward building a portfolio web page. And we're doing that by intent. It lets you have something you finish this class with that could be of useful to you when you either work for other classes, when you go to look for jobs. It's a way to put your best foot forward in public science communication, which is really, really important. And Josh will talk a little bit more of that later on. But being able to communicate what you do is probably the most important thing we can teach you. We can teach you lots of little things about lead and chemistry and science. But if we can teach you how to communicate better, that's a skill that's going to be with you the rest of your life. So we're asking you to build these web pages. I recorded a chintzy little video yesterday on how to make your own Google Sites page. I'm betting most of you know how to do this better than I do. But we ask you to get in today, create that page. There's going to be a main page where you just entitled lead or whatever you want to entitle it related to this class. And then a series, I think, of 11 subpages you're going to build. And that first subpage is about you. And particularly important today when we had some communication glitches here, to build out a nice page about you so we know about you. You could put a video on it. We saw a couple people do that already. That's great. You can put a written statement if you're more comfortable. You can put both. You can put an audio piece, whatever works for you all. But just tell us something about you so we have some background and your peers in this class know about you. That's really important because we want to build some community amongst this class. And then each day when we ask you to do an assignment, it's going to be another link on your web page. This gets us out of having to submit stuff on Blackboard, which is difficult enough for those of us who've been at UVM for a while, even more so if you've never used Blackboard. It's not a simple software. The only thing we're going to put on there are some daily check-in quizzes After we have our daily lectures posted, we want you to just go in and do that check-in quiz. They're not going to be difficult. They should be 5, 6, 7 questions. And they'll be auto-graded in there for you. And that's really just to make sure that you spent the 20 or 30 minutes listening to what we have to say and have some of the basic content. We're really going to focus the course on that portfolio you build over the course of the next couple weeks on here. So let me see. Let's this is our web page right here. If you haven't seen it yet, I built this in Google Sites. It's really easy. I'm no web designer. This is our syllabus. In here, I'm going to pop that up and share my.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
Yeah, I know it's in process.
Okay.
There we go. Should be coming up for you guys anytime. Sorry, it's running a bit slow here. Can you see it?
Great.
Okay, so let me back up one notch here. This is our website. If you haven't seen it yet, go visit it. I think I sent the link out, but I'll send it out again. All of our lectures are here under YouTube. So if you click on YouTube, we made a YouTube channel for LED UVM. You can see something about me, something about Nico, how to make your Google account, how to make your Google site, my walk around Burlington that I just showed you guys. That's up on there. You can find out about us. And then each day we'll be posting the lecture for the day of the class on here. So you'll get to see those. And most of this class is asynchronous. But we're going to have a meeting at the end, and we might have a check-in in the middle. And we're going to be available a couple hours a day for you guys to just call us informally or email us. And so you'll be able to have communication with us. We'll go back to my home page here. Here's the syllabus for the class. You can pop that out. I tried to put everything you need to know in here. Sort of there's an intro. We put our learning goals, what we want you to know by the end of the class right up front. We talk about logistics for the class here. Talk about the evaluation, grading. As I said, the quizzes don't count for very much. We have some expectations here. The biggest one is respect between all of us. That's what I start every one of my classes with. We need to all be respectful of everybody who's in here. We expect academic honesty. Cheating doesn't make any sense, especially in a course like this one. We're an inclusive classroom. If there's stuff going on in your life and we can help you out with it, please tell us. You know, Joe is in communication. Nico and I will do everything we can to help you with resources you might need if there's stuff going on in your life. For the classes, we have a reading for each class. They're all online. They're hyperlinks in the syllabus. None of them are particularly difficult or particularly long. Both Nico and I are going to have an office hour each day. We'll send you an email with the times for that, which means we're just going to be on our computer. You can email us, you could FaceTime us, you could chat with us in Teams, various ways to get to us. And there'll be a quiz every day, short quiz. That might be tough tomorrow because I know some people are still working on registration. Every day you'll add a page to your web-based portfolio. And then at the end of all these classes, you're going to submit your portfolio for peer review. And we're going to have a lot of cross review where your peers give you suggestions on how to make it better and improve it and find your typos and that sort of thing. And then the last assignment of the class is we're going to have you working in pairs. Because right now, I think we have an even number. There might be one 3-person pair or one person working alone. We want you to make a public service video. And that's to pull everything together and do something useful at the end of this about lead that would be useful to show to, I don't know, your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, your friends down the street, someone else in your dorm. This lets you be creative. You know, it can be as artsy and different. You can set it to music, whatever works for you all. I've had people do these as raps, as poems, as one-act plays in 3 minutes. Whatever works to communicate what you know about lead and how we can reduce the hazard and make people in your community lead safe. And the more creative, probably the better. Have a good time with it. Then we give you a day-by-day schedule. This is everything you need to know for what to do that day. This is your checklist for doing well in this class. And you'll see there's a reading assignment on each one of these days. Occasionally there's 2 reading assignments in here. And then we'll get down to the bottom. Okay, so last day of class, we're going to talk about how you communicate your science, build your portfolio. We're going to bring Josh back in for that one, I hope. You'll have your final portfolios due. Then you'll have your final public service videos. We'll do some peer comments on that too. And finally, at the end, we're going to have screenings of these videos. So we got to make sure that you're clear for that time on July 10th. We're gonna get online like this and screen each other's videos and have a discussion. That'll be our finale for this class. So that's the basic walkthrough for our syllabus here. Other stuff I put up on this front page, easy ways to email Nico and myself. Get to the Jackson State website. Those of you at Jackson, I'm sure know this too well. Those of you at UVM probably don't. So I'd encourage you to poke around and learn what you can about Jackson State. Same thing for Jackson students. Have a look at our UVM website, see what we do here. And then there's a piece, it's got Nico featured here about the EPA grant on local TV. It's kind of fun to watch if you want to have a look at that. And this is at the high school. I'll pop this up so you all can see it.
$1 grant was awarded to the University of Vermont by the Environmental Protection Agency to test for lead in the community. Local 22's Courtney Adelman joins us now live in the studio with more on this. Courtney?
Well, Glenn, UVM received this grant through the EPA's Healthy Community Grant Program, which addresses environmental and public health issues in communities. The grant will help create a new project between the University of Vermont and middle and high schoolers that will help them find toxic lead.
Lead has always been present.
So anyway, you get the general idea. It's our fine local television on there. So that's the basic backgrounds on here. Nico, anything else to say?
No, I think you really covered the things very well. One thing I would suggest to everybody is to create a favorite tab for this website where everything is, so that you can easily access it. There may be, and Paul mentioned that here and there may be sometimes some glitches in communication through Blackboard. Don't hesitate to ask us if you cannot access some of the reading material, for example. Don't hesitate to ask us as well if you can access the daily quizzes. We will really always do everything we can to adapt to everybody's special circumstances, especially right now with COVID-19 changing rules every week. What else? Now I think you covered the syllabus very well. Oh, one important aspect actually that we need to mention is, as was mentioned in some of your introduction, we're gonna do hands-on activities. And that means that you are gonna contribute to the science by sampling some soils and water for lead. So one thing that we will make sure happens extremely fast, and we need to have your addresses for that, is that we're gonna send you sampling kits where you're gonna sample soils and water, and we will tell you how to do that. You actually will tell us how you're gonna do that. It's one of your assignments. And you will need to send us back these samples. So everything will be prepared for you to just send it back. But we need two things. We need to have your address, and we need to know if there's any issues for you in completing this assignment beforehand, so that we can try to find out something. Meaning if there is a problem returning these samples through FedEx or something like that, if you don't have access to a FedEx drop-off location easily. So don't hesitate to tell us now or to send us an email rapidly.
Sorry, my phone ringing through my computer.
I know, it's surprising.
So we just had someone else pop into the meeting, and I wish I could say who it was, but their title shows up as unassigned. So unassigned, who are you?
DeVez Jenkins.
Oh, great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was a little late. I thought we were doing the 4 o'clock this time, and unfortunately, on the military base, I'm not allowed to download anything on the computer to be able to join it on there, so I had to try to leave base a little early, and plus we don't get signals inside of it. I can only get text messages.
Not a problem. If you want to flip on your video and introduce yourself to the rest of us, that would be awesome.
I was gonna say, did it come on yet?
There you are. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my name is DeVez Jenkins. What all information would do you need?
Oh, I don't know what you're studying, how many years you've been at the university, what you want to do in your life, you know, just general background.
I'm a civil engineer major, well, dual it's civil and environmental. I've been at Jackson State almost 3 years, I believe. I'm planning to maybe work for Corps Engineering or something. I work on aircraft for the military right now, and I do a lot of mechanics. So that's the general.
Cool. Yeah, great. Where are you exactly right now? Which base? Where is it?
172nd, Thompson Field.
Okay. Oh, wow. Great. Wow.
You guys stay busy during COVID times here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, sir. We they try to make it where we can still do our ships, and I'm under presidential activation, so I really don't get much of a choice. I got pulled into it right now.
Got it. All right, well, glad you can join us. And
I sure appreciate it.
And I did record this meeting, and I will post it so that you can go back and look at what we said and our introductions and all that.
Okay, I sure appreciate that. Where will it be posted at? How can I find it?
It will be on the class website. So
Okay.
I will resend the URL for the class website, and there's a YouTube channel. I'll just take this whole thing, put it up on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
When you have time, you can watch it again.
Okay, I sure appreciate that.
No, not a problem at all. So I just wanted to follow up on what Nico said there, is that our goal in this class is to make sure that all of you succeed. And so the best way we can help you succeed is if you're having any troubles, if you're having troubles with schedules, if you're having troubles getting an assignment done, give us an email. You know, we can certainly be flexible. We want to work with you. We want to make sure that everybody in this class succeeds. And again, communication is the most important piece of that. All right, any questions from folks? We've been yakking for an hour now. Anything that we didn't cover, anything you're uncertain about?
You're welcome to use the chat as well if you don't want to speak.
All right. So what I would suggest all of you, if you've got time tonight, is get in and work on that Google site. Make your first Google site and tell us something about you. Send me the link to your site, because then I'll link it into our page and everyone else can see you. But until you send me a link, I can't do that. So if you send them tonight, I'll get them linked up. First lecture will go up sometime late tonight. I still got to work on that, or early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow we'll post our first quiz in Blackboard, not expecting everybody to be able to get in because it's the first day. We'll leave that open for a couple of days. But the hope is that you'll log in every day. We're guessing this might be hour and a half commitment a day. It should not be. If you're spending 3 or 4 hours on this, there's a problem, and get in touch with us. It really shouldn't be that. It should be an hour or 2 each day at the most on here. All right, any questions?
When you say create that, what did create the thing where you can see us? I seen the email about that. Is it specified where I can go into the email and it actually tell me everything and step by step how to do it?
Yeah, so what I did was make up, when you look at the class website, there's a video on there. Do you have a Google account right now, a Gmail account?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay, well, if you don't, you can always make a new one. And I think I got about 3 because I keep forgetting them. So you can go ahead and make a new one, or you can use your old one. And once you're in there, you log in, you go to something called Google Sites, which is their creation for web pages, and they'll host your web page.
Right.
And so everything we do for this class is going to be on that web page. That's how you're going to submit your classwork. So it's going to be public. People are going to see what you do. It's all about lead. The whole idea here is to create a portfolio for you that you can use when you're looking for jobs, when you're working in other classes, and to make a very public presence of this class of what we're all doing together. So there's also an instructional video on how to make a Google site. I'm sure there are better ones out on the web you can find. This was my quick, how I did it, click through. It's pretty easy to do. You could probably easier to do on a computer. You could probably do it on a phone. You could certainly do it on something like an iPad, whatever works for doing that.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, and if you haven't any questions, pop me or pop Nico an email and we'll help you out.
Okay.
Easiest way to find us. And if you look at my email signature, my cell phone's on there too. You can find me that way.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let us know if you have any issues.
Okay, yes, sir. I sure appreciate it.
You bet. Anybody else? Any questions? All right. Well, thank you all. Oh, question.
Great. No question. I was just about to tell you have a good evening.
All right. I see you got the Golden Gate behind you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
One of those distracted moments I was telling you about.
So everybody have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon again.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, I like it.
Thank you all. Bye.